That was such an enlightening conversation with Shellee Howard. I was kind of thinking like we were just going to be talking about college, getting ready for college, and it was kind of that, but
so much more.
So much more. I'm still kind of reeling from this whole conversation about how she really helps kids like find their purpose young, like while they're young teenagers, right?
Starting with that intentionality of finding what your values are, which is something that Debbie and I have been obsessed with lately. Like, why don't we start here? Why don't we start with figuring out who we are, what we value, so that then whatever we're doing is intentional in alignment with those values. And that's exactly what she's doing. And that's amazing for anyone. I would definitely encourage you to follow the links, listen to the episode, follow the links if you've got kids, any kids, but she's doing this program for 7th to 12th graders. They can jump on these Sunday calls, and I feel like this is going to be transformative, not just for their college entrance experience, but for their lives, to do this good work young and get into service. Amazing. What a great program.
Yeah, amazing. Everybody tune in. This is a good one.
The world is a lot right now. Are you feeling it? We all need new tools to help us walk through the chaos with grace, ease, and compassion for each other and for ourselves. In this podcast, you'll hear from parents, educators, and other experts who can bring perspective to the monumental job of parenting. It's time to level up and be warriors for our kids and our communities. This is the Warrior Parent Podcast. I'm Marci Mitchell.
And I'm Debbie DeMano. As parents, we understand that it really does take a village to raise our kids. We hope that this podcast serves to create and support that community for you. Join us as we discuss and practice our core tools, which are proven mind-body techniques that can be used by anyone to improve your life on a daily basis.
Welcome to the Warrior Parent Podcast. We're glad you're here. Today we're going to be speaking with Shellee Howard. She's the founder of College Ready and the best-selling author of How to Send Your Student to College Without Losing Your Mind or Your Money. And I think for a lot of people who this is looming, that's probably sounds really good to be able to do that. Her passion lies in supporting both students and their parents through the often overwhelming college admission process, from maximizing merit scholarships to ensuring students discover and get accepted to schools that fit them academically, socially, and financially. Her own journey began after helping her son gain admission to Harvard, along with multiple full scholarships, later guiding her daughter to her dream universities, both debt-free. That's pretty amazing. I know that would be something that would make such a difference for so many to come out of school without that debt. And Shellee shares her strategies for helping families avoid student debt, find the right college fit, and reduce stress. And we are always all about reducing stress here at the Warrior Parent Podcast. With over 8 years consulting experience, international speaking engagements, features on Fox, CBS, NBC. She brings tried and true ideas parents can start using right away. She also supports a vibrant community of over 27,000 families of teens, all passionate about empowering the next generation. And so are we. And so we're so grateful to have you here, Shellee. Thank you for being on the podcast.
It is my pleasure. I look forward to our time together.
Wow. Okay. So the disclaimer is that I have, 3 kids that I've managed to get through college. We have 4 kids, but 2 of them are not debt free. In fact, I have great big bills that I'm still trying to get them paid, and it's going to be a while. And in fact, when I went to college, I had no money, but I ended up paying off my student loans when I was 40. So just 20 years ago, I stopped paying my student loans. So anyway, I am super excited to have this conversation, and maybe this hindsight will help me with my tuition issue. So go ahead, Shellee, tell us how you got started. Was it just with your son going to college that you decided, like, I'm going to help some people, or has this been like a long track for you?
Really, it started 18 years ago. And just a brief story, because I think it's important. I'm a mom of 4. I have 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 biological, and 2 of them are steps. So hopefully I meet the whole gamut of all your listeners.
Yes.
First to go to college on both sides of my family, and I did everything wrong. Sit there. I was that person that I made all the mistakes. And I didn't want that for my kids.
Mhm.
Didn't know that early on that I want to make it a lot easier. And back then it was a lot easier than it is now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it wasn't for somebody who neither of my parents went to college. And so when I would talk to them, they really were kind of, I don't really want to talk about it. Just go ask
Yes.
somebody who went to college. And so we never had the conversation. And so fast forward, my son in middle school, he was in eighth grade. He came home from school one day and he says, Mom, I know exactly where I want to go to college and exactly what I want to study. And I know what career I want. And I'm like, what happened at school today? Because the high school counselor came to the middle school and said we could be anything we want. And I want to be a brain surgeon and I want to go to a top tier Ivy League school. Can you help me? And I went, of course I can. I'm
Yes, I can.
right as every mom is going, okay, how am I going to do this? And,
Yeah.
I went on to ask him, why medicine? We don't have medicine in our family. And he says, Mom, we've been doing community service my whole life. And I just want to help people every single day. And I'm like,
Wow.
proud mom moment. Okay.
Good job, Mom.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm, but why Ivy League? And he goes, because everybody says I can't do it. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
And I said, great. He walked away and he looked back and he goes, well, what are we doing first? And I said, let me just kind of process this for a moment. I will get to you with our plan.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I took him to his high school counselor the summer going into his freshman year. And I said, will you please tell her what you told me? Because I don't want to be that parent. This is
Yeah.
your thing, right? He very simply said, I want to go to an Ivy League school and I want to be a brain surgeon. Can you help me? And she goes, why would you waste your time or money being a doctor? They don't make money anymore. And
Oh,
yeah. And that's what I did. Big eyes, big mouth. My son looks at me like she just squashed my dream. And I said, it's his dream. He can do anything he wants to do. And I guess we're done. And I love high school counselors. Their plates are so overfilled.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Right.
there's no shame, no bash on counselors. Some of my
Yeah.
best are counselors, but it was just this one particular one. And we were walking to the car and he goes, now what, Mom? And I very simply looked at him and I said, give me a week and I'll have a plan. So I went back to school and I got my master's degree. Then I
Oh,
became an independent certified college consultant and I started touring 25 colleges a semester. For 4 years, we worked this plan together. He did exactly what I recommended without giving me any attitude. And I have to preface that because I have three others that had a lot of attitude. So he was the firstborn pleaser, just did whatever I asked. Long story short, he ended up applying to 12 schools, got into 11, 7 full ride. He got
Wow.
wow.
ride. He won the presidential award at USC. And this mom was so excited because that's an hour from home. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what the name of the school is. I just want it close to home. And
Yeah.
then, so we went, we toured it, we bought the sweatshirt. We're like, yes, this is great. A week later, Harvard sent this most beautiful envelope welcoming him to this most incredible opportunity. And he thought somebody was playing with him. So he had me call Harvard and see if it was a joke. And it wasn't a joke. And they flew us out there to tour the school. And I
Wow.
walking along the Charles River and there was the rowing team was paddling by and
Yeah.
he's like, Mom, that's what I want to do. And I got chills and I'm like, what? Like that's far. Like that's all the way. That's a long way from home. And he's like, Mom, but it's Harvard. And
Yeah.
so then we talked about the financials and Harvard matched what USC offered. And so he got to go to Harvard pre-med for free.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Part of
Wow.
college ready is everybody said, I want what your son has. How do you do that? And I was helping people and I was loving it. I love teenagers. I was
Yeah.
inspiring them to live their best life. We were having a great time. And all of a sudden somebody says, well, how much do you charge? And I'm like, oh, wow, this could be my business. Education. I have the know-how. And so 18 years ago, this is my 18th application season. I now lead a team of 11 where we help
Wow.
parents and their teenagers navigate the whole process. And we do it with calmness. We do it with fun. We do it
Mhm.
with the first looking at how to support the child and the parent before we try to shove a student into a school.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would love to share with your families today how we can take the stress and the anxiety away from the process.
Yes. Yes.
That it is such a fun time in life. Why would
Yeah.
we want to give that up to something that doesn't need to be?
Right. It's interesting to me because I grew up in Huntington Beach, so Orange County, about an hour from USC, and back in the 80s. And when I went to school, I started at UCSB, Santa Barbara, but then I wanted to go to the East Coast, and I applied. Talk about doing you said you made all the mistakes, and the second part of that is so that your kids didn't have to, like, we learn from our mistakes, right? I kind of did that too. I had a book, big fat college book, and I was like, well, let me just come up with some arbitrary things because there's a lot of colleges in there. Basically, largely on my own. I mean, my parents did go to school, but I don't know, we just weren't as intensely parroted in the 80s. I'm a Gen Xer, we were out there just on our own, but just came up with these arbitrary requirements. But I was like, I want to be in the Northeast. I just had this dream about that. But I ended up in Massachusetts, and I ended up on the crew team too, oddly enough. And I was
Yeah.
not an athlete, but that was a fun experience. And I did get to be at the Charles Regatta and be in Boston. But I was very fortunate in that. So my parents' college was way cheaper back there, but I switched from UCSB, which was at the time was very affordable. The housing was expensive, but the college itself was really affordable. And
Right.
then went to a private school in Massachusetts that was 10,000 a year, which at the time was an astronomical amount.
Right.
And we were middle class. My parents didn't really talk about the finances. They had money saved. They paid that first year, but like halfway through, they said to me, okay, now you have to find something. Like, you got to do something because we can't pay this anymore. And I was like flabbergasted. I was like, what? And I was stressed as hell at that point because that was a tough school. And it was within like 2 weeks of that I got a letter from Army ROTC saying you could qualify for a scholarship. And I had no bandwidth to look at anything else. And I didn't have a Shellee Howard. So I was just like, okay, let me go talk to them. That was not on my blueprint of my life. That was nowhere. And it worked out fantastic for me. I got that scholarship. I enjoyed that. I got to go overseas. And I graduated without debt, but that's certainly not for everyone. But it was like this time for me, like what you're saying about the kids, of just, I wanted to go. I wanted to try something new. I wanted to be on the East Coast, and I wanted to row crew, and that, like, I was saying yes to things that I never would have said yes to before.
Mm.
And that's an exciting thing. And I know Debbie, she got up and left the Midwest and came out here. So it's an exciting time for kids to be able to try something hopefully without getting their dream squashed, like you say.
For sure. Yeah, he did end up rowing crew for Harvard for a year.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then the reality of the academics kind of kicked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it got real. He was studying for the MCAT and did the final club. That was a pretty cool thing for him. So it was he had a very balanced college opportunity and loved every minute of it. But
Oh,
I
good for him.
second child to Harvard, and she's like, please don't make me go here. Please don't make me go here.
Yeah.
And she's
So
like,
They're all different.
yeah. So talk about that. Like, there's all this pressure right now with kids in college, and then there are those like, oh, we shouldn't go to college at all. Like, there's a whole another thing around that going on right now. But just talk about like how you might access a child and be able to help them figure out what their what their real passion might be. It's not just like like you said, I'm going to Harvard because my brother went there, or my mom went there, like that sort of thing, or I have to be a doctor because my mom said, like whatever. How do you find that sweet spot with kids to know like what's their perfect choice? I shouldn't use that word perfect. What's the best choice for
What
them?
lights them up? Yeah. What's the
Yeah,
thing that's
yeah.
gonna be uplifting? And
So the first thing we do, the first time I meet a family is I get to know the student. And I simply can start with asking them this question. So parents, this is the kickoff. Who are you? That's what you ask your teenager. And if
mm,
they look at you with big eyes or shrugged shoulders, there's some work that needs to be done. Because if they
Yeah.
don't know who they are, how will they pick the right college? How will they pick the right
Yeah.
teacher? How will they pick the right career? So
yes.
I started what's called See Our Future Now. And what we do is we start with the student and help them to figure out their core values, their gifts,
Mm,
their talents, and what they advocate for. Because as soon as they get to know who they are, then we ask parents, who is your child? And now they're like, oh. And then we ask the best friend, who is your best friend? And now that young student is saying, wow, I am that. That's
Yeah.
that's that's embarrassing when they talk about it, but I am that.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to help them get comfortable. We raise our kids, don't brag, don't boast, people don't like it.
Yeah.
What
right.
we're not saying is be yourself,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
genuine core values, be you. And who is that?
Yeah.
And so once we help them figure that out, to answer your question, Debbie, the rest is so much easier.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Well,
yes.
we talk
Yeah,
about
because
core.
you started with the values, and that's one thing that Deb and I
Yes.
always talk about. And it gets missed in the world. What are your core values? Like if you don't figure that out, then you're just out there stabbing at life rather than saying, this is what I value and this is how I'm going to live into that. So
I
that's
Mhm.
was
an
just
amazing
I
step.
was just going to mimic that. But then what also we find with so many people we're talking to is the kids' core values we find are just the core values of the parents. They've put all of whatever my parents say, whatever they do, whatever. And so I think
Or
that's
the opposite. If it's
yeah,
like
I'm
anything my
not going to
parents
be
do,
like
I'm
that.
doing the opposite.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But
Or
there are
society, or yeah, it's not really core
yes.
values. It's things I just picked up
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think if you would ask me that question when I was 18, I don't know that I could have given you an answer, quite frankly. Like that's those are big questions, right? But I love that you're doing that. Like that's
yeah.
so important. That's beautiful.
We have another way to get to it, Debbie. Here's
Okay.
another secret sauce.
Mm.
You're sitting around the dinner table and you tell your kids, I have a game I'd like to play. And there's only two rules to the game. First rule is you cannot roll your eyes, cross your arms, and be like, oh, stupid. That's rule one. Rule two is parents, you cannot remark on what they say. In other
Yes.
words, if they give you something, you can't go, oh no, they're going to be an artist. You
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to be poker face, parent.
Yes.
Okay. Those are the only two rules. And then I say we're going to start with the oldest at the table first, the oldest child, and then we're going to go to the youngest. And so it gives them all a play in the game. And this is
hmm
if I give you $1 million cash, if they're not smiling, be concerned. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a fun game.
That's so fun,
Yeah.
I
right?
want to play.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you $1 million cash. You have 24 hours to spend it, or you have to give it all back to me. What would you do with the money?
hmm
That's their core values.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm going to play this with my husband
I
tonight.
know. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, because you ask that question and you don't necessarily expect them to just bring out a list. If they do, wow, well done.
Yeah.
But there's a way to get there, right? Yeah, and that's a fantastic way to do it. Like, what are you going to do with that money?
Yeah, I have students who are they have nothing. Like they have no idea. I have students who say, I would just give it all away. And then I have students who would say, I'd buy a yacht, I'd buy an airplane, I'd take all my friends around the world for 30. 300 days. And you're like, okay, we need financial literacy a little bit. You'd say, well, first, I would find a fixer-upper home and I would find some way to buy it. Then I would fix it up and I'd sell it and I'd buy two more. I said, what do your parents do for a living?
Yeah, no kidding. My mom was a realtor. I was a realtor. I'm like, oh, that's the realtor's kids.
Totally.
Best.
And that's the brilliant thing is when we get to tap into what are they hearing?
Yeah.
These students, I ask them, do you ever want to move out of your parents' home? It's a simple question. Some of them are like, oh yes, I can't wait. Like, get me out. And I'm like, great. Where do you want to live? Well, I guess right next to my parents. They're like, they haven't really thought about it. And I'm like, well, how much does it cost to live next to your parents?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, how much money do you want to make in the career that you're going to have? I don't know. So the next thing we have to help them figure out is,
hey, we just wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about something very exciting that Debbie and I and our team have been working on for literally years. And that is our Cour Tools app, which is now available at the Google Play Store and at the Apple Store. And you can sign up for it now and you will get access to all the tools we've been talking about on the podcast.
And if you're an early adopter of Cour Tools, you can get a VIP price for $49 for a lifetime. That's
Lifetime.
That's
Buy it once and we'll keep
Lifetime.
updating it too.
Yes. So we're super excited about this. Go to Apple Store, go to Google Play, and purchase it now.
Cour Tools, COUR, capital TOOLS.
Go get it.
what are their gifts and talents that they come with, and what careers line up with that?
Yeah.
How much money those careers will make? Do they need to be educated or not? Further education. And finally, will AI be doing it in 4 years when they get out of college?
Whoa,
there's a
that one
question.
just hit me right in the head. Yeah, boy, isn't that the case? So yeah, go deep on that. Like help us to understand. Everybody's asking this right now. Like what, especially kids who are like in college right now or just graduating high school. They have to be thinking what I thought I was going to be when I was in ninth grade. That job pretty much doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really cutting edge on this. I've been really pretty involved with AI because over the last 2 years, students who were caught using AI with the AI checkers for college admissions, it's an automatic no. And so I run an AI checker for my students' essays and their applications. And I have to talk to the family and say, I'm so sorry, you guys, but you used AI and I told you you couldn't. And the student, oh, no, I didn't, no, I didn't, no, I didn't. And I'm like, I'm sorry to let you know AI was used. Is AI on your computer? Well, yes, it is. Do you have Grammarly that checks your grammar? Well, yes, I do. That's AI. It
Wow.
their essay. And so I have to let families know we have to be super mindful. One, it will take away your child's critical thinking if they're just using AI. So that's helpful. Two, colleges know what's going on. Nobody's going to just like slide under the radar.
Yeah.
I've been on the cutting edge trying to help my students not be in that position. And what I have to help students understand is it is here to stay. And it terrifies parents, but I'm here to say, remember the day the cell phone was a big block of brick? And you're like, there's no way anybody's going to do that. There's no way anybody's going to pay for that. And now we have a computer in our hand.
Yeah.
As much as we may not want to buy into it, believe it, deal with it, I'm all in saying, how do we use it for help, for good, for the purpose of making things better? And
Yes.
Right.
a lot with students, if they want to go into graphic design, I will show them how Jasper can create an incredible graphic design in maybe 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say, so how do you compete with that? Or Do you do something else creative that
Yes.
can't be taken over by a computer, that needs human
Yes.
touch, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
plenty of careers. And then the other thing is I let them know there are going to be careers that we don't even know what they are yet.
Right.
Yep.
There's no even name for them yet because we don't know where this is going and how fast we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
Help them to not have anxiety about it, but to be knowledgeable because anxiety comes from the unknown. It comes
Mhm.
from
Mm-hmm.
knowing how to play the college admissions game. It comes from listening to social media or well-meaning adults who want to prepare you for the future. And then it comes from them feeling inadequate. You know, if you're following everybody's best day, you're going to feel inadequate. I don't
Yeah.
care who
Right.
you are. And I will ask a student when I get on a call, I said, do you want to go to college? And if they pause, I'm like, well, what else are you thinking? Because
Yeah.
I'm, if my original idea for my business was not college ready, it was future ready. But no one
Mm.
quite understood what I was trying to help them do. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that every child is different and their uniqueness has got
Yeah.
to come out. And so we help them get clear on what is going to be the best fit for you, or is it
Mm-hmm.
a hobby based on the money you can make, right? Or
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
students who want to be professional football players, but they haven't made all league or all state. You know, they're the expectations, they're too small. Like there's
Yeah.
just some things we can't fix.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so just being honest with students, but not squashing their dreams.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
that's plan A. What's plan B and plan C? We didn't prepare for COVID, but my
Yes.
students did. We had a backup plan for just in case a family member got sick. And
Mhm.
every one of my students had to apply to one school near their home. Just
Wow. Good
in-
for you. Good
Mm-hmm.
for you.
so
Yes.
having that plan is how we get away from anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all there is right there is planning and having a structure for them to feel confident that they know what they need to do.
Right. And then, ironically, the having the plan frees you up to be more creative, frees you up to be open to opportunities because you've got something in place and you know you're okay. And then you can expand a little and be like, what else? And what other things? And then when things show up, you're open to it, which is one of my favorite things, to be open,
Yeah.
because you don't know what's coming and good stuff's coming all the time.
For sure.
Marci
Yeah.
and I have talked about this creativity piece for quite a while. And, we have known, sort of AI is coming and we could, we've been doing this since 2017, not podcasting, but nonprofits and helping kids with anxiety, like all the things. But what we saw to be true in these kids, which we were so excited about, was the creative piece, right? And so also in conjunction with that, what's happened is the schools were not allowing that, and so there was this thing that was going on with between the kids and the schools, and is still kind of going on. The schools are trying to get better about turning art programs on back on and music programs back on and that sort of thing. But our feeling or our belief is that it's going to take that creativity to be able to use the AI to move us through whatever is coming, right? And so like I'm curious, do you see a lot of kids right now are just like, oh, you said I want to be the artist, and the parents kind of going, well, you can't study art in college or whatever. Are you seeing more of that and more kids who are going like, oh, I want to go to a gaming school or something like that?
So, because I've done it so long, I can't say I'm seeing more of it than I ever have.
Mm-hmm.
I am seeing students who are questioning what do they want to do? Where before, a generation before, it was you're going to college, it's just which one. Now they're saying, well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. My parents are still paying off their college debt. They picked a major they're not using, and it doesn't look like a good return on investment. So why would I want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And what I'm helping students understand is just because your parents did it wrong doesn't mean you have to do it wrong. And I'm
Yes.
here to tell you that college is the only part of your future, but I can give a perfect example. I had a student who wanted to be a botanist, and her dad called me ahead of the meeting and he said, please, please, please make her switch. Please. And I said, I can't make her do anything, but let me talk to her. We had a conversation. It was amazing. And I simply asked her, I'm super excited. Why do you want to be a botanist? She goes, oh, I want to save the environment. Oh,
Mm,
oh, so wait, it's not that you love to plant and play in the dirt.
right.
No, no, I just think we need more plants and I think we need to save our environment. And I'm like, so have you ever thought about an environmentalist kind of opportunity? And she goes, I don't even know what that is. And the dad's sitting there like gonna explode because he didn't ask the simple question. He just put his foot down and said, oh no, I'm not paying for you to go to NYU at $98,000 a year to plant. So again, it's approaching the teenager with questions that are not yes or no, but they're tell me more.
Right. Get
Yes.
curious.
And I think
Yeah.
that's so exciting. What made you feel that way? And that allows them, and then you have to be careful not to be like, oh, you have to be really
Yeah.
mindful of holding yourself accountable. But that's why our students are so successful. Every one of my students, they know what they're going to major in, they know what career they want, and 97% stick with it.
Wow.
It's a huge testament to why we spend so much time on the front end,
Yeah.
helping to figure out them and picking the school, picking the environment. That's easy as soon as we get to know who they are. And
Yeah.
you'll love this, ladies. We do it all by using community service.
I do love that. I do love that very much.
Wow.
Yeah. Such a great
Wow.
practice.
So
Oh,
it is, students will say, well, how would I know what I want to do? And I'm like, well, tell me what you like and what you don't like. Well, you love children. Have you ever served children? Well, no, I don't. Well, why not? Oh, well, how do I do that? And then we talk about how they do that. Well, I don't even like people. Great. What do you like? I like selling Comic-Con online. Outstanding. You can use your profits and make a big donation to your favorite charity. That's amazing. I don't even have to talk to anybody.
yes.
We're helping these young people. Every one of our students in our program does a minimum of 200 service hours. And the reason is, I believe, Shellee believes that if every 18-year-old in this world did 200 service hours in something they're passionate about, not checking a box, our world would
Yes.
be so beautiful. It would
Yeah.
be so much fun.
Amen.
And that is why we use it, because when a teenager is doing something for somebody who has nothing, they don't feel judged. They don't feel like I can fail because failing is where they're already at. They're already, I mean, the person in need already doesn't have it. So there's
Right.
no high expectations that there's going to be this huge result. Our students in my program have, in 2.5 years, built a nonprofit called empowereducation.world. We now educate 850 Ugandan children who walk 3 hours to school, 3 hours home, where they get meals at school and they don't at home. And for the very first time are going off to secondary school. Like we're changing lives. And it's my students college ready that are
Mhm.
doing that work.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow. 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 I
Well
am
done.
so impressed. I am so impressed. Like those are all the things which should seem so simple, right? Like you've just taken these very simple things which are connection, community, collaboration, like
Service,
yeah,
making the
all
world a better place
yeah,
for
and bundled
yeah.
it all into some really, really nice business, right? Which I'm
Yeah.
sure is completely fulfilling for you as well, right? Like,
Best.
yeah,
People ask me when I'm going to retire, I'm like, why would I do that? I don't know what I would do any differently.
yeah,
Like, that's the hard part for me. I get to go, I meet with students all over the world every Sunday evening from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if your listeners want their teenagers with me, I will give you a link how to do that.
yes.
Absolutely.
Cost to it. I simply inspire teenagers to live their passion with purpose and it
Yes.
impact lives so they can learn who they are. That's it. It's the one ingredient because colleges want to know this. Who are you?
Hmm.
That's it.
Well,
So
we started with that, and we're going to end on that note. And you are going to tell us how
Yeah.
all these kids can get in touch with you, parents can get in touch with you, how we
Have
can
them to
stay in
join you on
touch
that
with
call.
you. Yes.
Yeah.
I welcome, it's open to any 7th through 12th grader. We don't go younger than that. It's a little too intimidating if they're younger than that. So we kind of start them there. And they are welcome to bring a friend because it's always more comfortable to bring a friend, but it's completely online. And the best part is it's led by my students. So it's not led.
Mhm.
So I teach my executive leaders how to lead their peers. And so it's student led and they learn leadership skills. They can earn 10 national awards and 4 leadership certifications, all while serving children in another world. And so there's 2 ways you can do it. You can go to collegereadyplan.info and set up a meeting with me, 30 minutes, where I can explain what we're doing and how we're doing it. If you're just more curious, go to empowereducation.world. And it's a student-built website. So I'm going to preface it by saying that, right? They manage it. They did everything for it. And those 2 ways are the best way to get connected. If you want to learn more about how to help your child prepare for college admissions and figure out who they are and their why, go to the website, collegereadyplan.com. I have so many free resources. I still am, but all 4 of my kids have now graduated college debt-free, and I want that for your family as well.
I love that. And I would say, even if you're not thinking about college so much, like it sounds like just getting that intentionality for your kids about who they are, what they value, like that's such, and then the service, like that's a huge way to be intentional, be purposeful, be values driven, and be service driven. It's gonna have an amazing impact.
Sure.
We're gonna drop those links in the in our podcast notes so that you can follow them. So such great work that you're doing, Shellee. Thank you so much for sharing that.
It's been my pleasure. And parents, one last thought. Nobody prepares us for this. There's no book. I mean, I've written 2 bestsellers, so there are books, but no parenting. I mean, it's hard, it's challenging, but it's the best job you'll ever have.
Absolutely.
So I want to encourage you. They're only this age once. And we want them to come home after college for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So doing this well, right? You hire a CPA, you hire a realtor. Just know it's okay to hire resources if you need them and here for you. So parents, just don't do it alone.
Yes, that's good advice.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Shellee.
Hey, warrior moms. As we started this podcast, we had determined that part of what we were going to do is to create a community. So we have decided to take it to another level, and we have started our own Facebook community in addition to the Warrior Parent Podcast, and it's called
From Chaos to Calm, a sanctuary for moms. Here's what it looks like. It's on Facebook right now. Please go and join it. And just to let you know, we're going to create our Blue Sky accounts right now. We're getting prepared as we watch this weird stuff go on in America. So we may be shifting the whole group to Blue Sky. Just be aware that we got you. You're going to start here. If this turns out to be not a safe place anymore on Facebook, then we will shift over. But what we're creating is a safe space where moms can show up and get information, get support, talk to each other about the things you're going through with your kids, the things you went through with your kids, maybe get some advice from moms, but also other experts. We're going to invite all of our guests and experts to join the group. I hope you will too. This is a place where you can show up and be seen and be heard and be safe. Mom's got you.
Nobody trusts anyone more than moms. So let's do this.
And now for your core mental health break. This is your opportunity to take a moment to support your mental wellness, your peace of mind, your own ease and grace. Take some time every day to support your mental health. You deserve it, and it matters.
So today we will do an affirmation. So I encourage you to speak this aloud. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. Let that be your affirmation for today.
Thanks for listening to the Warrior Parent Podcast, which is a production of our nonprofit, Cour Experience, who also creates and distributes Cour tools. You can find us at courexperience.org. Make sure you join us next week for another informative conversation to help you and your family show up mindfully, purposefully, and joyfully with each other and in your community.
Our Cour Tools platform consists of a number of proven tools and techniques that are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, and overwhelm in spite of what's going on in your world. We want to thank Samuel Hale, LLC, for sponsoring this podcast. Technical and marketing support comes from Inspire Your Brand. Our podcast editor is Justin Beeden. Opinions expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect those of the hosts, the producers, or the financial supporters. I'm Debbie DeMano.
And I'm Marci Mitchell. Thanks for listening. If you resonate with the idea of creating a community to help support kids and families, won't you join us by following the podcast and sharing this episode? You can even write a review. It truly does take a village, and we appreciate you.